and welcome. My name is Armando Nahum. I am a patient safety advocate and a principal at H2PI, the Healthcare and Patient Partnership Institute. With me today is my co-principal, Marty Hatley. We've been working together for over 10 years now, helping hospitals build, or in some cases rebuild, patient and family advisory councils focused on quality and safety. Welcome, Marty.
Hi, Armando. Yes, we've been working together since 2011. It's a long time now, starting at MedStar Health and then with CMS and the Partnership for Patients and Vizient and many other hospitals along the way. And we've learned so much, not just in starting what we call Patient and Family Advisory Councils for Quality and Safety, or PFACQS for short, but also in watching what they accomplish over time and sometimes how they drift away from purpose and can get into trouble.
Marty, let's chat a little bit about that. So to start with, we have learned about the critical importance of a charter for the PFACQS. Why would you say that it's so important to success?
Armando, I think it's crucial to success. At this point in time, I would never even consider recommending that an organization go forward with a PFACQS without a charter. And there's a couple reasons why. First of all, a charter helps everybody get on the same page and understand what the purpose of the PFACQS is and what it will do. So that clear statement of purpose, I think a charter helps us accomplish. It also establishes where the PFACQS fits in the organization. And you and I have seen PFACQS that have become siloed. They kind of get to a certain place and they are lost. So this makes it very clear. And then there's a lot of sort of risk management functions that get built into the charter that we recommend PFACQS adopt. And, if you have a problem that happens with your charter, suppose you have a disruptive member or something like that, it's just easier to start a conversation with them, a crucial conversation, if you can reference an objective document like a charter that we've all kind of agreed to at some point in time. So those are the main reasons that I think an overall charter is important. But let me ask you a question. What do you think are the most important parts of the charter that we put together and recommend?
So Marty, I would say that the following examples really stand out for me. To start with, organizations differ in what they are comfortable with calling a PFAC. It's a popular acronym, but it really stands for different things. And so some organizations will, for instance, will say committee instead of council, or partnership council instead of advisory council. So I think it's important for an organization to establish what is good for them, what's their best fit. The second thing is that it has to have a purpose because it keeps the focus on quality and safety for the organization overall. And, you don't want it just for, members' personal complaints, that's for sure. It also has a reporting relationship. So it makes the PFAC as a visible priority, and it keeps it from being totally siloed, which you and I have seen that on several occasions. And it keeps it connected to that organizational mission and strategy, and also helps its wins get noticed. The other thing that I can think of is about members. When the community and staff members, they work together, they tend to learn from each other and really empathize with each other. And then the last thing I could think of is right off the bat is having ad hoc members. A lot of people ask us, what is that, right? It's a great way to engage multiple parts of the organization. It's a great way to have, members that cannot attend to those meetings on a regular basis, but to just, be a part of that as ad hoc members. And a perfect example is a project team that is responsible for developing the PFAC in the first place. Some of those folks, they get so attached to that project that they tend to migrate as ad hoc members. But I'm going to turn it back to you, Marty. And what would you add to this?
Well, first of all, Armando, I agree with pretty much everything on your list. And I guess that's not surprising since we've been learning these lessons together now for 10 years. But that notion of the members being both from the staff of the organization and from the community, I think has been a big win, and it models partnership. And as you know, we also recommend that to kind of further that modeling, that the PFAC have two co-chairs, one from the provider side of the membership and one from the community side of the membership. Again, just to kind of reinforce that notion that we're all in this together, we're all aligned with the purposes of this PFAC, which is to improve quality and to prevent harm. I think member terms also really important. Sometimes you'll get a member whose experience is really relevant and it's really meaningful for them to be there, but the project is done, or you just need some new energy or a new voice. And I think the terms, again, gives you a way to have that discussion without it seeming personal. Saying, okay, we have terms for a reason, and it's to bring new energy in periodically. And then finally, we use this very, very rarely, but it's provision for removing a member. You and I have seen maybe 3 or 4 times when we've really had to work with a PFACQS to do this because there's some kind of disruptive or disrespectful behavior. So having some criteria there and a process for removing a person, even though it's an extreme thing and it happens really rarely, just having it in the charter, again, it gives you a reference point and it keeps it from becoming personal. I also think, Armando, that when I think about the times we've seen PFACQS get into trouble or drift, it's almost always been because they didn't have a charter. I mean, would you agree with that statement?
Oh, yes, absolutely, Marty. And where they had a charter that maybe also had some gaps. And a perfect example comes to mind because I remember a hospital in Rockford, Illinois, that they were so eager to build their PFAC. They were so excited and energetic, and they wanted to build it so quickly and made a decision to streamline the charter by a single page and omitting some of the important pieces. And so after a few meetings, they had an issue with a member. They did not have that provision that you talked about earlier to remove that member. So this really, to me, underscores why we crafted the charter so carefully. Marty, this was an absolute pleasure. It's always enjoyable to work with you. Thank you very much for this.
Well, back at you, Armando. Thank you. It's been a pleasure to kind of review what we've learned and be able to share this with others.